Thinking of becoming an owner-operator? Well, in today's video, we're going to give you tips on how to buy your first truck. So what is the optimal truck to purchase? What are you supposed to be looking at as a driver? Are you looking at the beauty of the truck? Are you looking at the fuel consumption? Are you looking at how comfortable the cab is? Should you buy new versus used? Luxury versus affordable? What amenities do you prioritize? And what is the optimal budget for the truck? We received a variety of answers for these questions from our drivers.
The problem with trucks is that it costs a lot of money to maintain them. And you have to be prepared to spend money to fix them. So it doesn't really matter whether you get a brand new one or a used one. You know, eventually they're going to break down, and you have to have money put on the side to make sure that in case something happens, you know, you'll be able to get it fixed and get back on the road. Because if the truck is not moving, regardless whether it's new or used, you're not making any money. So the question is really, you know, how well it's maintained. And that you can find out before you actually lease a truck or buy a truck. You can get a printout. I think for the last 3 years, you're supposed to get a printout from the day that the truck was manufactured and from the day the company bought it, the way it was maintained. And you can see exactly what they've been doing to it. And from there, you have an idea, you know, what else can it get wrong.
Be realistic as to what you want. Very few guys come into this industry and they will buy the big boat and get the big boat right out the gate. My first truck was, I think, 40 grand. And I ran that for a couple of years to learn the business, you know, to learn how to become an owner-operator, to learn the ins, the outs, get the responsibilities. I ran that for 3 years. And then I cashed that in for the nicer truck. I worked my way up until I was eventually able to buy a brand new truck. But I wasn't able to do that right off the hop. It took me 5 trucks to get the brand new one. Well, this is the 5th truck, so it took me flipping 4 to get and that's a lot of years, but that's also a lot of learning. Every time you get a new truck, you learn something new. Financing, fuel, rebates, engines, displacements, the list is just never ending. You'll never know everything. It's impossible. So try if you can to learn a little bit about everything instead of knowing a lot about just one thing. Try to spread it out what you know.
My point of view, older truck is better. Right now I'm driving my Peterbilt. It's 96 model, and it has no DPF, no e-logs, but I recommend still older trucks, because like in new trucks there's so many problems going on. That's why I prefer older trucks.
Going for a newer truck versus an older truck, I've been there, done that with the older truck. A few years back I tried doing a lease operate, but it was an old 92, 93-ish FLD. I only spent like $15,000 on the truck, but in a very short time it cost me about $25,000 to $30,000 in repairs. And even had weeks where I wasn't paying myself because of all the repairs. I think somewhere between the $60,000 and $80,000 on a used truck is a good spot to be. And if you get too old, you're gonna have a lot of breakdowns. You go too new, your payments are going to be that much more. And these ones here, I think it's more sitting in kind of like in the middle there.
Many mechanics know about Freightliner more than other trucks. It's one of the commonest trucks in North America. That's why I went for it, and I love it. I would go for new truck. When you buy a new truck, you have a question mark. It depends on your luck, because you never know what will happen.
You know, when you get a new truck, you end up paying more money for it because it's brand new. If you buy a used truck, it's going to be cheaper, but then again, you may have problems. So as long as you put money on the side and you take care of it the best you can't control what's going to happen, but at least you can control what you have and how you take care of it. I picked the Freightliner because they have the most shops out there. And, you know, there's so many Freightliner shops. So if I need a part, you know, I can just pull in and, you know, they'll be able to fix it. You can't find a lot of Peterbilt shops, dealerships, as many as you can find as a Freightliner, even Kenilworth. In my opinion, all trucks are the same. It's up to the driver to take care of it. Sure, some are nicer inside because of the interior, but you know, you're not going to live in the truck. You know, basically you're going to be driving it. So if you're going to spend weeks living in it, then it's a different story. But if you're planning to drive every day, then it doesn't really matter what kind of truck you're getting as long as it makes you money. And that's the whole thing, is to make money.
You want a decent fridge, you know, but that's usually an aftermarket option. The trucks, you know, some trucks are sold, most trucks are sold without it, and you got to pay extra for that. But if you're buying your first truck and it's a used truck, chances are there's a fridge in it. You'll want power inverters. These are all just little things that, you know, are going to save you down the road. A microwave. If you can get trucks with this stuff in it and it's incorporated into the cost of the truck when you buy it, and you're not having to go out of pocket afterwards, it really helps out in the long run. I look for just the truck was maintained. I didn't have to worry about it with this truck because, like I said, this one was new. But my previous trucks, you know, you want to make sure that they're not abused. Take oil samples, take differential oil samples, take transmission oil samples, and pay to have them done. And see what those samples come back at. You can tell the way the previous owner drove the truck by what those 3 samples will tell you. A good technician will be able to read that and relay that information to you.
But right now, like you have a bunk heater, so you can shut off your engine and then you can put your heater on and warm up at night. I'd recommend before, like if they wanted to buy a first truck, it's better you buy a Freightliner or Volvo because they are easy to drive and they're cheaper than a Peterbilt or Kenworth.
Freightliners are known to be cheaper when you do have to repair versus Peterbilt. You take a Peterbilt to a shop, you're a bare minimum of $1,000. Whereas Freightliner, probably not so much. The other company I work for, just for the climate control piece to be replaced, was like almost $2,000. And the same controls in the Freightliner is like $300.
The new engines all came in like 2008, 2009 with the DEF, the DPF and all that. So our industry has drastically changed as prior to 2008. Horsepower is not the big thing anymore. A lot of people think, oh, I got to go out and get a 550 horsepower, blah, blah, blah. You don't. These new engines, these new trucks, you can buy a 13-liter engine with 455 horsepower. You can have it adjusted and you can have the torque rating set. And if you do it properly, a 455 horsepower engine will pull just as well as a 500 horsepower engine, as long as that one's been set up properly, and you will get better fuel efficiency out of it.
Freightliner has gone a long ways to make the equipment a little better. You know, obviously, back in the day, it wasn't as good as it is now. But equipment-wise, they're getting better. It's just, you know, just a name. At the end of the day, you know, it's just a truck, and it's your job to take care of it, and it's your job to make sure that, you know, if anything happens before it happens, you know, fix it. A lot of drivers, they want to be cheap and they want to fix things when it breaks down, but I'm the opposite. I like to spend more money maintaining it because I know I don't want to break down on the road.
You know what? Learn to drive the truck. Learn to be an owner-operator. Learn to go down the highway. Learn the business. There's the trucking business, and then there's the business of trucking. Learn a little bit about both.
Well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let us know, reply in the comments, which truck would you purchase? What year, make, and model? And what's the reason behind why you're thinking about that truck?